forget to like, share, and subscribe. If y'all don't pick my sign up. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Psychology Eats. So what's eating you? If this is your first time clicking onto my video, thank you, and welcome to the channel. I hope this video finds you in great mental health. So you clicked on this video because you really want to know if you decide to go and see a therapist, is everything you tell the therapist confidential? Like, they can't tell nobody nothing. So I'm going to say 99.99999% of what you tell your therapist will be left within the four walls of the therapy session. And so almost everything you say to your therapist is confidential. Therapists are legally and ethically bound to keep information private between the therapist and the client. So I've been a therapist for many years, over 30 years, and most of what I've ever discussed with my clients has remained confidential. Now, there are some exceptions. And what's important as the client, that you have an understanding from the beginning of the therapeutic relationship that everything that you say will not be kept secret or confidential if it meets certain requirements. And so basically what we say as a therapist, what I know I say to a client is, what you talk about is confidential unless you say you want to hurt yourself or someone else. And then there is some action that must be taken. But for the most part, your therapist in general is bound by confidentiality, meaning they cannot share details about your sessions with anyone else without your permission. And so in most therapy clinics that I've worked in, we have our clients sign a form, and they will tell us who we can discuss their case with. And that doesn't even mean give a lot of great detail. In most, let's say a client signs the form and says release of information, and they say you can talk to my probation officer, you can talk to my mother, and you can talk to my doctor, my primary doctor. And they'll sign a ROA saying that, and that we can have a conference, we can have correspondence or phone conversations back with the people that they verify or specify that we can talk to. In most cases, let's say it's a probation officer. In most cases, the probation officer just wants to know if their client is coming into therapy. So a probation officer may just say, is so-and-so coming to therapy? And so the reply would be, yes, they're coming to therapy. Now, we can do that through email, phone, letter, whatever. And so that's pretty much, but in most cases, the probation officer, or they're not asking like, well, what did he say in the session? Did he admit to the robbery? Stuff like that. They're not asking that. We're professional as therapists, and usually we have, other professionals that we talk to who understand the relationship between the client and the therapist. And so they're not asking for details about the session. And then we are mandated reporters. So here's another exception. We are mandated reporters. And so if a client is in session and it sounds like their children are being neglected or abused in some way, then we're mandated reporters and we have to report that to child line services, whatever they call it in whatever state you live in. But basically, we have to report that if they tell us that, they're someone that they know or an elder is being abused, then we need to report that too. So we have to report child abuse and elder abuse. And so that is not something that is confidential. And then the last one is court orders. Now, this can get a little tricky. This can get a little bit tricky because we do have to maintain confidentiality with our clients, which means our clients need to trust us. And so if by trusting us, we want them to be forthcoming with whatever they want to disclose in the session without feeling like it's going to be repeated or that they're going to get in some sort of trouble because of it. And so court orders can be very tricky because if we are court ordered to go into court, and which I've been court ordered, not a lot. Over the 30 years that I've been in mental health and 20 years of being a therapist, I might have gone to court literally maybe 3 times. And so it's not anything that happens often, but it's definitely uncomfortable when we need to go, when we are court ordered into therapy. Into going to court, because it feels like you're breaking confidentiality with your client, and that doesn't feel good at all. And so depending on how you're questioned, you can say, this is confidential between me and the client. Like, you could say all those things, but it's uncomfortable, especially if the client is sitting right there and this is somebody you built a trusting relationship with and they trust you, and now maybe you have to say something that may hurt them. That doesn't feel great. Luckily, I think that over the years, judges, prosecutors, defense attorneys, they have a better understanding of the therapeutic relationship between us and clients, and they don't really often mandate us into court. And so in my experience, I haven't had to deal with that. But overall, I would encourage anybody to go into treatment with an open mind, an open heart, willing to work on yourself, willing to learn how to be a better you without worrying about who's listening, who's gonna, know about whatever you've talked about. As therapists, we talk to people all day, every day. Your secrets are not going to be, something that I'm gonna go home and talk about, or talk about your situation with friends or anything like that. It's in my opinion, and in my experience, it's really not like that. What we talk about in the therapeutic relationship and in the therapeutic, I don't care. I've done therapy in office settings, schools, jails, outside in the park, telehealth, whatever the environment is, the relationship, the core relationship between the client and the therapist is confidential, unless it meets those 3 criteria, and then action needs to be done. Especially if someone says they want to hurt themselves, we're not just going to be like, okay, bye, see you. No, we have to have them evaluated by a licensed psychiatrist, and help them get past the thoughts of wanting to harm themselves. Also, if someone says they want to come in treatment and therapy session and they say they want to harm someone else, I'm going to unalive my PO or my cousin or whatever. And it sounds like they have a plan, like they really are going to execute this, then we need to intervene into that. And so I've done that, not a lot, but I've done that multiple times on both ends, hurting themselves or hurting someone else. So that's really the only thing I wanted to talk about with this topic. I hope it helps someone. Like I said, please, 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 if you feel like you need therapy and you need someone to talk to, go in with an open heart, talk your talk, say what you got to say, get it off your chest, and know that it's not going to be shared. That's it, and that's all. If you like this channel, if you like what I got to say, leave a comment and also click subscribe. Thank you.
Guess what? I got a sale with me. And hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. And hit that little bell.
Subscribe. Say subscribe to Psychology Eats.
Subscribe to Cowboy Eats.
Not Cowboy.